He was just great to the young guys. And just so you understand, there are a lot of selfish people out there in the game, or at least there was, and you don't have to open yourself up to young guys. You don't have to be a leader. Even though it's a team game, you're the one that has to put the numbers up. And yes, the catcher is going to help a pitcher, and manager is going to help you through those things, but it's a selfish game within a team game, and there are a lot of guys that choose not to help the young guys. And Mike McFarland was one of those guys that absolutely did that, and so my thanks to Mike for that. And if you're in an opportunity where you had someone mentor you and lead you, and then now you're in an opportunity to lead someone else, invest in them. Leave the legacy that somebody left for you and pass that forward. I know I'm a better coach because of guys like Mike McFarland who helped do that for me, lead me, and help me understand the game. So, hey, if you want to know more about Breaking the Norm, you can visit lesnorman.com. There's podcasts and info on there. You can also get we talk about hitting. I wrote a book on hitting. It's called Teaching the Tools of Hitting. You could be just someone that has never played the game and you're a volunteer parent. You're trying to figure it out. Or you could be a high school or college kid trying to learn some drills, or maybe somewhere in between, and there's some fun Royal stories in there as well. It's Teaching the Tools of Hitting on lesnorman.com. If you want to follow me more on social media, just on Facebook with my name, Les Norman, Twitter at LNorman22. And if you want to send me an email, les@lesnorman, that's one S, les@lesnorman.com for more. So thanks for listening today, and I hope you enjoyed our episode today with former 13-year Major League veteran catcher Mike McFarland. So make sure you join us next time, wherever it airs, wherever you're at. As always, I'm Les Norman. Thanks for joining us on Breaking the Norm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
I'm attorney Mike DePasquale. I played linebacker. I won a state championship. I played Division I ball. I know a thing or two about winning. A winning attitude starts with confidence. My law firm is so confident in what we do that if we take your injury case and we don't win, you don't pay us a dime. So if you've been hurt, call me. My team wants to win for you. I've got this.
Mike's got this. All you need to know. 816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
You're listening to the most powerful sports station in the country. Sports Radio 810. WHB Kansas City. The power of sports.
America's largest all-sports radio station presents the #1 motorsports show for 2 decades. Track Talk. Brought to you by Lucas Oil Products. Here are the Racing Boys, Scott Traylor and Kirk Elliott.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Track Talk here on Sports Radio 810 WHB and RBN, the Racing Boys Broadcasting Network. Don't forget, you can watch the show live on our Facebook, Racing Boys Network, at Racing Boys on Twitter, or you can find us on YouTube as well. Or you always have that fourth platform option, racingboys.tv. Most of the people hang out on the Facebook page, so that's where we read the comments of the people that are listening to the show. Most of those come from our Facebook page. Welcome to the show. I'm Scott Traylor. He's Kirk Elliott. We're the Racing Boys. We've got Todd, Adam, and, oh my gosh, we've got a third person working back there with us tonight. Austin O'Neill. This morning, Tonight, last night, it's a blur, you know. Austin O'Neill will be doing a little work for the Racing Boys on our new project, Mostly Motorsports. Will be coming up sometime in February, so we're looking forward to that show, and that'll be brought to you by Lucas Oil Products. So I guess I got to start off the show, unfortunately, with some sad news. This one's a little closer to home for me. Most people know that I've been traveling with the Lucas Oil ASCS National Sprint Car Tour for 13 years, traveling up and down the road, coast to coast, all the way from New York, all the way to from Pennsylvania, I should say, all the way out to Seattle, from Michigan to Amarillo and everywhere in between for the last 13 years. And the owner of the series is Emmett and Fuzzy Hahn. And I owe those two a lot. But unfortunately, bad news. We have lost Fuzzy Hahn, Emmett Hahn's lovely wife of over 60 years. Lost her to COVID yesterday. So that was a very tough one to swallow. Let me just tell you, folks. Fuzzy Hahn to me was, and to a lot of people, not just me, but really, Fuzzy Hahn was the queen of the Hahn family. When anything needed to get done in the Hahn family, it had to get Fuzzy's stamp of approval on it. And we all know that, right? Fuzzy was the queen of the Hahn family, and let me tell you, she is going to be missed in such a way. I can't even begin to explain to you what she meant to her family and to me. You know, my mom passed away in 2009, and my mom always kept me in line. I remember many times, Kirk, when I would come home from the radio show back in the day, and my mom would say, "I had to turn you off today." And I said, "Why?" "Because you were being mean to Kirk." My mom would rip my butt in a heartbeat. And the same thing with Fuzzy Hahn. Whenever I had it coming, she would let me know. But you know, the thing that I'll miss the most about Fuzzy Hahn is our long conversations, not about motorsports, but about our families and everything in life that goes along with life. You know, Fuzzy and I had what I would like to call a special relationship. I'm not a family member, but I've been around her family for the last 16 years or longer, a little bit longer than that probably. More like 20 years, but we've been doing the broadcast of the Chili Bowl for 16 years. And whenever I needed to get something done, I always went through Fuzzy. Fuzzy was my point of contact for all those years because, you know what? I knew I'd get it straight with her. She always gave it to me straight. She never minced words. She always told it like it was, and that's what I loved the most about Fuzzy. I never had to worry about what is she thinking. She told me what she was thinking, and it was loud and clear, just like my mother would tell me. And I'm telling you, folks, the loss of Fuzzy Hahn is going to be a huge loss to the Hahn family. And I'm thinking about those folks right now. I wish I could be there with them in Tulsa, and I'll be down there tomorrow. So if you guys are listening to the show, you know I'll be there tomorrow for you. But let me just say that Fuzzy, she meant a lot to me, and she meant a lot to everybody else. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of people who are grieving today over the loss of Fuzzy Hahn. Kurt?
Well, I couldn't echo any more of what you just said. I really can't top anything more of what you just said. And I know you had a very special relationship with Fuzzy, and, you know, to be honest with you, the Racing Boys wouldn't be where we are today without Emmett and Fuzzy Hahn. And Fuzzy was the rock. And as you pointed out, you know, every time we went down to cover the Tulsa Shootout and the Chili Bowl every year, she was there, and she was a big presence on everything that went on.
Listen, she had some underlying health issues as well. She had some fungal problem in her lungs. So, listen, if you're not healthy in the lung department, you know, if you get COVID, it's not good. So, folks, I'm not going to go on a big speech here about getting vaccinated, but yeah, I'd like to see you get vaccinated. It's your choice. You do what you want. I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to say everybody should get vaccinated because, listen, everybody has their own opinion about things, and that's what this world's based on, and people's opinions, right? So, listen, if you're willing to take the chance and go without the vaccine, that's your choice. Me personally, I got the vaccine. Kirk got the vaccine. Todd, Adam, they've got the vaccine. So, that's just our choice. And that's all it's about. It's your choice. If you want to deal with COVID without having the vaccine, well, that's your choice, right?
I couldn't agree more. It should be your choice.
Right.
So, but all I've ever said during this whole pandemic is just be careful. We love our listeners. We love everybody out there. Take this seriously. Be careful, because today is going to be the first of 3 services I'm going to attend in the next 5 days of people who died of COVID. Beginning today with Joan Ellis, her services at noon. She's another great lady in racing. John O'Neill Sr., going to have a celebration of life for him tomorrow at Lakeside Speedway. Visitation.
It just came out that Joan
at 2.
It just came out that Joan passed from COVID, didn't it?
Well, it's in the obituary, which we got posted on racingboys.com. And she was a major player in racing in the Kansas City area.
Along with her husband, Clyde. Right.
And so we're going to celebrate her life today. John O'Neill Sr. tomorrow at Lakeside Speedway. And Fuzzy Hahn, visitation on Monday night, services on Tuesday in Tulsa.
Yep. All right, and you can find all that information on our website, right, Kurt? RacingBoys.com. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, so Fuzzy was like a second mother to me, and I'll never forget some of the lessons that she taught me along the way. Listen, she's just like my mom. Told it like it was. Sometimes it stung a little bit, but you know what? It's okay. I still loved her. And I loved Fuzzy Hahn just like if she was an aunt or a stepmother or whatever. She meant a lot to me.
Well, I witnessed that special relationship that you had with Fuzzy, and it was special. So she was like a second mom.
I bawled like a baby all day yesterday.
Right.
I've shed all the tears I could shed yesterday, and I'm thankful that I got through this morning without shedding a tear, because listen, it's hard to talk about.
The big thing is Fuzzy had an impact on a lot of people, and that we'll feel for the rest of our lives. Absolutely. So my sympathies to the Hahn family, and it's a big family.
Right.
We're thinking about you today.
No doubt about it. So Blake, Tommy, Emmett, Steve, Matt, Ashley, Brandon, everybody down there that might be listening right now, I love all of you. You're like my family. I'll see you tomorrow. All right, Kirk, let's get off of that.
Just one more thing.
Yes, sir.
We lost another person here this last week that had a big impact on racing, Greg Stevens, who was just inducted into the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame here a couple of years ago. Greg Stevens was a pioneer in video of racing.
Pioneer.
Right.
Listen, Greg Stevens was doing everything that we're doing long before anybody else was doing it. Greg Stevens is the captain, and he gets that name because he was the captain of the ship, and he was the one that hired people like Jeff Christensen, Dean Mills, Jeff Converse, got all these guys going in the business, right?
Yes, sir.
There's nobody that deserves more credit in our industry when producing videos for motorsports events, more so than I think Greg Stevens. Would you agree?
I couldn't agree more. And, I've known Greg for 40 years probably. I've known him forever. And I remember going to Knoxville and covering the Knoxville Nationals. And even before they had a media center up there, it was myself and Greg Stevens down there. Greg Stevens had that camera from as early as I can remember, before he's even thought about doing live video. Greg Stevens was shooting video of these races, so he was around for a long time, had a big impact on the business of live video, and also before that, shooting video to be seen on major shows like the weekly racing shows on ESPN back in the day, that Bob Jenkins hosted, who we lost here a few weeks back. Greg Stevens helped supply video for those shows. So he was a pioneer, as you say, the pioneer of live video, and his impact on racing will be felt for decades to come.
We were blessed to have Dave Despain say that we were one of the pioneers, but listen, the real pioneer is Greg Stevens, for sure. He's going to be greatly lost, and I know a lot of people are thinking about his passing this week as well. A good man, a little rowdy, but he was a good guy, and he's going to be missed as well in our industry. All right, Kirk. We just got a few more minutes left in this segment. Let's talk quickly. Brian Brown's going to join us here in a moment. We're going to talk to him about his win last week at Williams Grove. That was a big win, first time he'd ever won at Williams Grove. This weekend, it's the National Open. It pays $75,000 to win this race. Last night, Kyle Larson started on the pole, pretty much dominated that race, except for towards the end of the race there, probably with about 7 or 8 laps to go, he blew through the cushion down there. And that gives the
Logan Schuchart
a chance to make some ground on him and actually get around him for a moment.
Is Kyle Larson one of the very few, if not the only one, that could blow through the cushion like that and still recover and win at Williams Grove?
It appears so. Listen, Kyle Larson is so confident when he's behind the wheel of a sprint car right now. But, there's a man that's won this race 7 times, Donnie Schatz, and he's the defending champion, and he ran third last night.
Right.
Schuchart was fast, but Donnie Schatz was right there. And what Donnie said, he said, if we could just get all this power of this Ford motor to the ground, we've got something for him. So he feels like he's left some on the table, and he might have a chance to pick up the win tonight, picking up that $75,000. And, oh, by the way, you can watch it all on Dirt Vision. I know you can't make it out to Williams Grove tonight, so all of our listeners, one of the great broadcasts in motorsports is on Dirt Vision, and they do a fantastic job with their production. So check them out tonight if you want to watch Williams Grove, the National Open, the 59th annual National Open, pays $75,000 to win.
And Kyle Larson will attempt to do what only Donnie Schatz and Doug Wolfgang have done, and that is win the 3 big sprint car races in the same season. And that is the Knoxville Nationals, the Kings Royal, and the National Open. There's only been 2 drivers that have done that.
Steve Kinser and Wolfgang?
Doug Wolfgang and Donnie Schatz.
Oh, Donnie Schatz.
And so Kyle Larson will attempt
Steve
to
Kinser
be
never
that
did that.
guy. Nope.
Wow.
Not in the same year.
You would think the King would have done that.
You would have thought so.
Yeah.
Hey, and it was 25 years ago this weekend I made my one and only visit to Williams Grove Speedway.
And there wasn't a race.
It was it was the National Open.
Oh, you went to the National Open.
I went to the National Open 25 years ago, 1996, and who was the winner?
Let me guess.
Should be an easy
Donnie
guess.
Schatz.
Lance Deweese.
Lance Deweese.
Yes, sir. And he's still there.
Why would that be an easy guess? Lance
Well, because
Deweese.
he's the all-time winner at Williams Grove Speedway, and
I
he
guess.
was racing that 461 car with the bricks on the side.
Yeah.
And that was my one and only trip to Williams Grove Speedway. Huh. How about that? You've been there several times.
Yeah, I love that place and the fans. The one thing that I was so impressed with when we went out to Williams Grove and Sealings Grove, we're 360, a national 360 touring series, and, that's 410 country. But let me tell you, when we went up there, you can't believe how many of the fans come up to us and said, we've been waiting for you guys to come up here for a long time. They were the nicest people. They weren't 410 snobs. I mean, there might be some up there, but for the most part, most of those people treated us like kings when we were up there.
These are the most diehard sprint car fans you'll see anywhere.
Maybe the best in the whole country.
They are.
Yeah.
And it's, that's a great racetrack where you could stand on the front straightaway, walk down a tunnel into the infield.
Right.
And if you stand down in turns 1 and 2, you can really have a pretty good view of the cars coming around down the front straightaway and 1 and 2 down the back straightaway.
Yep.
Then you can walk across the bridge over to the back straightaway. You can do that pretty easy at Williams Grove Speedway without, you don't have to go over the track at all. Under the track on the front straightaway and over the track on the back straightaway.
I've got a lot of photos of me, Matt, and Ashley, and Max, and Brian, and just everybody with the national tour. We've got a lot of pictures of us standing on that bridge. It's a pretty cool deal. Did you walk across the bridge?
I did.
You did?
Walked, there's that tunnel on the front straightaway and then walk over the bridge on the back straightaway. That's a cool place.
It's so unique in the way the cars handle there as well. And we'll talk a little bit about that with Brian Brown, that those corners are so sharp. And they're so tight on the ends.
Very technical.
That you've really got to be able to twist your car through the center of those corners. And then when you do, for some reason, it lifts the right front tire up of these sprint cars when they're going down the straightaway. Typically, when you go to a sheet metal race or a stock car race or a modified or a late model race, you see that left front lift up. The right front lifts up on these sprint cars as they go down the straightaway.
It's a hard track to master.
And from what I've been told, it's a little sketchy when you're driving off your left front tire going down the front straightaway at Williams Grove at the speeds. Think about the speeds they're going at Williams Grove, Kurt. The speeds at Williams Grove. Listen, folks, these are the biggest half miles in the country. They're like a Knoxville, but they don't have the big sweeping corners like Knoxville does. They're very tight radius corners down on the end, real long straightaways. It's just remarkable the way they get around there. And listen, the guys that race up there full-time have a distinct advantage over everybody else.
Right.
Would you agree?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Lance DeWeese and Brent Marks has got it figured out.
When the World of Outlaws go there, they know that there's a good chance that one of their guys might not win because the PA posse is so good at that racetrack that you have to go up there and outrun them. Unlike when they travel around the country, most people come in to try to outrun the Outlaws. But when they go to PA, the Outlaw guys got to go in there thinking, we've got to outrun these fast guys in PA.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. One driver that does not have it figured out is Brad Sweet. He, for some reason, he just can't get this place figured out.
A car spun in front of him last night, and he had to spin, I should say, to miss the car that had spun out in front of him. So I think they didn't say it correctly on the broadcast last night. Bruce
Ellis.
I love Bruce Ellis.
The longtime voice of Williams Grove Speedway.
Listen, let me tell you, Bruce Ellis is a pro, man. I could listen to Bruce Ellis. He is good at what he does. He is really good at what he does. So we'll have to get him on our show here before too much longer. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Brian Brown. What did he run, 13th last night?
Yeah, it was in the top 10 there towards the end of the race, but ended up 13th last night. He didn't really get all that great of a starting spot. So if you don't start well at Williams Grove, you're going to have trouble.
All right, we're going to talk to him about last weekend's win at Williams Grove, his first in his career, and more when we return with Track Talk, brought to you by Lucas Oil Products, made in America, sold to the world.
As your power steering pump ages, seal leaks may occur, causing the power steering system to lose fluid. Your power steering system may also develop an annoying squeal, and the steering may become more difficult to handle. By using Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak, you will stop the seal leaks, reduce slack in rack and pinion, eliminate the squeals and hard spots in your power steering system. It is guaranteed to stop seal leaks or your money back. Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak. It works.
Hey, Kansas City, it's Brian Pringle with Victory Ford at the Legends in KCK. Victory Auto Group has joined a nationwide network of auto dealers looking to purchase inventory that collectively bid for your vehicle. Would you like to know what they are willing to pay for your car, whether you buy another or not? For your simple no-hassle quote, just text your name to 913-229-6384. You can also visit us at the Legends Auto Plaza on the southeast corner of 435 and Parallel, or online at victoryfordkc.com. Victory Ford, where our first price is better than their last.
When you're thinking about New Orleans, why not let Jazz cook for you?
Laissez le bon temps rouler. Let the good times roll. That's what we do at Jazz. Papa Vic here to tell you about what's happening at your favorite restaurant, Jazz, a Louisiana kitchen. COVID still got you down? No worries. We're open. Come in and let Jazz cook for you. We've partnered with Proactive Protect to provide nanotechnology protection that sanitizes all our tables, chairs, and the interior of the restaurant. So come on in. Everybody is safe. Tired of your mama's cooking? Check out our website, jazzkitchens.com, and place your order online or through Menufy. Not comfortable coming in? Check out our dedicated curbside parking spots, and we'll bring the taste of New Orleans to your car. 3 locations, the original at 39th and State Line, and at Legends of Village West, our newest location in Independence at I-70 and 291, just east of the Cable Dahmer Arena. Jazz, where there's a Dixieland band and a sultry day, and everybody.
Yes, if you're dreaming about New Orleans, let Jazz do your cooking up for you.
Jazz, where there's always a party every night.
Crown Sports Auction, the Midwest leader in game-used memorabilia. Consign with the Kansas City Pros. Register at crownsportsauction.com. It's free. Go with the pros with over 50 player alumni that buy, sell, and consign. Memorabilia for every level of collector. For free appraisals, call Jeff at 913-961-0929. That's 913-961-0929. Crown Sports Auction. They're local with the lowest fees in the hobby.
Visit the Village of Loch Lloyd during the 2021 Fall Parade of Homes to view 2 award-worthy entries. Star Homes' modern farmhouse entry features a unique behind-the-kitchen prep area, which opens to a walk-through pantry, private outdoor living spaces, and an indoor golf simulator. Don Julian Builders' new entry features their signature 4-season room with double-height ceiling and fireplace, and flanked by dual outdoor decks with views of the Tom Watson signature golf course. Daily hours from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., September 18th through October 3rd.
Track Talk.
Welcome back to Track Talk. I'm Scott Trail, along with Kirk Elliott. We're the Racing Boys here from Racing Boys HQ. And joining us on the phone is a good friend of the Racing Boys. He picked up his first win at Williams Grove last weekend, and it was exciting to watch. And, man, was that an intense race. Brian Brown joins us now on the show. Blackjack, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, guys. Good to be back on with you guys.
Hey, man, let me tell you something. You can say what you want about Mark's braking, but I always tell people, in order to win, you must put yourself into position to win the race, right? And that's where you were at last week. You were in position to win the race when that motor went south on Mark's car, and that gave you the lead. It was a thrilling victory for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Brent's obviously been one of the fastest cars out there, and I felt like once I got into second, I kind of just got up and started running the preferred line there, and we stayed right with him through traffic, and I felt like I was as good as him through traffic. So you never know, and I've lost plenty that way, and it's nice to get one. It was nice to get the opportunity to get one the other way. We still had to work for it, so. Yeah, man, to win at Williams Grove, it's the toughest half mile in the country, and I would think almost one of the tougher tracks in the country to get your car right, get the driver right. Just a difficult place to win, and glad to put one on the books for the good guys.
Brownie, you talk about how tough it is to win at that place. Tell us what is the difficult part as a driver getting around that place. It's so unique, and the speeds are so great. Tell us what is the difficult part of getting around that place.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a half mile, and a lot of times on the half miles you think, man, I just got to run harder, or you can run as hard as I can at all times, and things like that. And I think that's what I've kind of learned from going there a little bit more here the last couple of years is, you got to run hard, but there's times you have to lift sooner or later when it slows down, and where you lift and how you lift and where you pick the throttle back up and things like that. Just over time, you just learn things that help. And we've definitely do not have it figured out, but I feel like we're on the right path to figuring it out. And, to get a win there, just boost my confidence and the team's confidence and, going into a big weekend like this weekend. So, it's just difficult. Like I said, if the driver lifts a car length or a half a car length or a quarter car length too early or too late, it can change the characteristics of your car. and you have to be able to, as a driver, know that the car is not probably going to be perfect there,
right, and
just try to make up as much difference as you can, and try to be consistent in where you lift and where you don't lift, and it's just tough. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Right.
I put probably the most effort I ever have into a track on trying to figure it out and watching video and things like that, and it was good to get a result.
Brownie, let me ask you this: is the setup different at a place like Williams Grove? Because you see the cars running down the front straightaway with the right front lifted up. Does that mean that you're doing something different with the car at that particular track that you might not do back home?
Yeah, I mean, just because the corners are so sharp there versus a place like Knoxville that has real sweeping corners, is you just got to do things to make sure your car turns when you get down there. And then when you make sure your car turns, that sometimes lends to, having the right front carried, down the front straightaway. And quite honestly, that's a pretty uncomfortable feeling to have your right front in the air that high going down the straightaway. But it's a feeling that you just got to say, hey, that's how it's got to be if you want to be fast here, really. And, you just got to kind of deal with it and learn how to, give it as much throttle as you need to down the straightaway to keep your right front in a good spot where you just don't have to dump completely out of the throttle when you get to the other end. And those are all just nuances that you learn as you go there. And like I said, it's tough, man. It is definitely not like Knoxville or not like Lakeside or Sealings Grove or Port Royal. It's a whole new animal, and it's like a short track type of racing inside a half-mile facility,
Brian, congratulations. This has to be one of the biggest wins of your career. I mean, you said in Victory Lane you wanted to win at the three most iconic racetracks of all of sprint car racing. We know about your success at Knoxville. You've come close at Eldora, but winning at Williams Grove and getting wins at all three of these racetracks, very important to you.
Yeah, and that was not a shot at any other track or any other facility throughout the country, because I think they're all important. But me as a driver, or any driver in general, if you just poll them and say, hey, man, what's got the most history, in all of racing, places that, you can think of, most generally they're probably going to name those three that I mentioned in Victory Lane, Knoxville, Eldora, and Williams Grove. I mean, you got guys like, Jan Opperman and Doug Wolfgang and Van May and anybody who's raced and kind of won at Williams Grove. And I think it's cool. They have a lot of history there, with Bridge, and they do the interview with Bruce Ellis. Bruce is one of my favorite guys in racing. And he comes down and does the I mean, it's just, they give you a homemade checkered flag that, that you take home with you. I mean, it's just a lot of things. I told myself, man, if I could ever win at Williams Grove, and that would be pretty special. Eldora, we've been very, very close there numerous times. I think 4 or 5 seconds. So that meant a lot. I mean, it was a local show, but I don't consider those guys locals. I feel like that those guys, when you come in there this weekend, the Outlaws are going to know they're there, and there's 3 or 4 or 5 guys that have a legitimate shot at winning the National Open this weekend. And like I said, I feel like if you can beat those guys, you can beat anybody when they come in there.
Yeah, talk about the competition that you run up against there at Williams Grove Speedway and all those Pennsylvania racetracks.
Right.
I mean, Lance DeWeese and these drivers like Danny Dietrich and this Anthony Macri is really an up-and-coming driver.
And Devin Borden isn't doing too bad himself either.
No, I mean, it's they call it an outlaw tune-up race because they do use an outlaw format. Mm-hmm. In my opinion, I've been trying to tune up for the Outlaws since I've got there, because they're as fast as the Outlaws, and Danny and Dietrich and Lance DeWeese and Anthony Macri and Devin Borden. And, and the list goes on and on. I'm sure I'm leaving out somebody that is in the hunt every week, but those guys really stick out in my mind. That if you can run with those guys, Lucas Wolf, I mean, if you can run with those guys, and be in contention with those guys night in, night out, I feel like that you'll have a legitimate shot this coming weekend if you can get qualified and things like that. So that's kind of how we've looked at it. Is there's been a lot of nights I've left there just mad at the world because I've qualified well, I've ran the heat well, I ran the dash well, and just when we put a fuel load on the car, we just haven't got the right balance. And I've left there so many nights just, man, like, I am never going to figure this place out. And, you know, you just got to keep putting your head together. You know, Danny obviously has raced there a lot in his career too, which is very important. And you just got to put your head down and just think of, okay, why is my car doing this when we put fuel on it? Why is it doing this? Why is it doing that? And come up with good ideas throughout the week to put them to use the next weekend.
Yeah. Brian, I got to ask you what happened over there when you blew through the cushion.
Yeah, I caught behind a lap car that I had issues lapping, you know, the first time around when we got to him. And then when I got to him again, I just, I kind of just drove, you know, I'd been running in there a pretty good clip. And I just, as the race goes on and you have trouble with a lap car, you know, it's almost like an hourglass in your head that, you know, gosh, I am wasting way too much time with this guy, and these guys are too good behind me to know they're there. You can't hear them, you can't see them, but they're there.
You know they're
and,
there. Right, yeah.
And I just got in there a little bit, said, okay, I'm going to run in there a little harder and see if I can get this guy cleared. And I just got above the cushion a little bit, and, you know, you give a guy like Devin an opportunity there, and he was able to sneak by. But at that point, I felt like, even going back a little bit after Brent fell out, we took back off and almost felt like I had my left rear tire was going flat for whatever reason. I don't know why, but I just had the feeling that, man, I feel like my tire's low. So I kind of but kind of run about 75% for a while there just to make sure, try to get if it was going low, to try to get the air pressure back up and just not just run the tires off it. And then, you know, I got behind that guy and I had to, you know, actually start going 100% and just got in there too hard. And, I can promise you one thing: you're not going to be able to make that mistake this Friday and Saturday. Or these guys, you make that mistake this Friday and Saturday, and you'd be lucky to run the top 5. So I got to clean that up. And like I said, we can't make mistakes like that, or those guys will make you pay. And was able to get back by Devin, and you know, really just run as hard as I could the last couple laps, and was able to get the win. And it doesn't matter how you get it, you know, or how it came, but it's just awesome to, if I never win another race at Williams Grove, it's awesome to say I won one, you know, in September 21.
Yeah. Brownie, let me ask you about Danny being out there with, you know, a longtime friend of the Racing Boys as well. And we just know that his stellar career, everything that he has done. You made the change. Danny's in there. You talk about how he's trying to make you better on the bottom. We saw you working the bottom a lot more, it seems like, at Knoxville, maybe more than usual. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But anyway, long story short is, what has Danny brought to you psychologically as a driver, as maybe coaching is the wrong word, but mentorship? Tell us about the relationship with Danny and what he brings to you mentally between the ears.
Yeah, he's obviously been a part of my racing career from day one, and even when he wasn't working for me full time, he was still, you know, a part of, you know, just, you know, you don't have a guy like that on your side, you know, and not ask him questions. And I've always asked questions, even if he wasn't working for me. And now that he's, you know, working for me full time, I feel like I have his full attention to really pay attention to every single detail of how I'm driving and things like that. So I think the biggest thing is I feel like Danny is as much as of his racing career, he was one of the best. I feel like he has the potential, you know, hopefully, and I help him to be one of the best crew chiefs ever too, just because he understands all the aspects of the race car, how everything works. But the added bonus to him is he's driven and he knows every situation you're going to be in. So it's almost like, oh, okay, hey, you know, I'm starting on the outside front row, or I'm starting on the pole this race. What do you feel like is the best move going into one? Do you feel like I should be sliding myself or get right to the cushion or roll the bottom? Like, what's your thought? Okay, then his idea is, well, if I was you, I'd get right to the cushion. So that's just another, there's no hesitation of knowing, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and just added confidence of I'm doing the right things, or hey, it's an open red. He walks out to the edge of the track and says, hey, you're on the wrong part of the track. Move your wing. You should be better. And it happens. Or, you know, just things like that. It's just, you know, nothing against my last crew chief, Chad Morgan. He's did a phenomenal job, and you can see what he's doing with Ayrton. Chad's very, very good. He just didn't drive. And I feel like for me, I need the extra cheerleader on the side saying, "Hey, this is right," or whatever. Just because I can be indecisive as a driver sometimes. So, overall, Danny's been a great asset to our team. I'm very happy to have Danny on our side. I feel like he's made my team better, made me better. Nate Steinhaus, my dad Robert. It's a big puzzle. And if there's 4 pieces of us, Danny, Nate, my dad, myself. If one of us doesn't bring our A game, on a particular night, you're missing a piece of the puzzle. You're not going to beat these guys with 3/4 of a puzzle, and you cannot complete the puzzle without all 4 pieces. So, I'm all in. I'm probably more focused and more amped up about my racing now as I've ever been, and I can't wait to get back in that race car on Friday night and try to get at those outlaws and get 2 solid finishes for all our partners.
Now, your plan is to hang around another weekend at Port Royal, or what's the plan for after this weekend?
No, my stepdaughter is getting married next Saturday.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
So that's exciting. So no, it's I've been out there since Labor Day, so we've been there long enough, and racing's not the only thing in this lifetime. So
right,
being able to be there for her and my wife, and they give up a lot for me. So to be able to be there for her and see her off into her new life is something that I'm very proud of and want to be a part of, and I wouldn't miss it for the world. So no, we'll run Williams Grove, and then we'll be back. Looking forward to the FVP Platinum Battery Showdown at Lakeside here in a couple weeks with the Outlaws.
All right, Brownie, before I let you go, I got to ask you, man, it's the 59th annual National Open. It's going to pay $75K to win. Boy, that would be a nice deposit, wouldn't it? Yeah, I mean, and it's not like the Nationals. Second place gets a picture of the winner. Right. So that's basically, it's 75,000, and then it kind of goes to a normal outlaw purse similar. So it's all the money is on the line. And again, when you say Williams Grove National Open, it doesn't matter. It's like saying the Knoxville National. It doesn't matter what it pays to win. No, in my eyes, it doesn't. Right. Like having that's going to be nice on Monday when you go to the bank, but having that Champion Oil championship belt around your waist and having the National Open banner and having your name on a T-shirt for the rest of your life and forever is what it's about. That's an event no different than the King's Royal. So there's only 4 or 5, I feel like, marquee events throughout the country. This is one of them, and the money would be nice, but the accolades and the history behind this event is what makes it, and just proud that Casey's and FVP and Impact Signs and all of our partners allow us to go out there, and it's a big budget for me to go out there and stay a month. Right. So lucky to be able to do that, and just proud of where my team's at right now. Can't say my team, our team is at right now, just because a crew chief change can go a couple different ways. And like I said before, I feel like it's been the best for me and Chad both. Me and Chad are still good friends, and he's having a lot of success, and I feel like we are too. So yep. I'm excited for the future and looking forward to finishing off the year very, very strong and really putting as much effort that I've ever had into our racing, this winter. So, 2022 is going to be a great year. Yep. Blackjack, thanks so much, buddy. We appreciate you taking the time. Good luck this weekend. You know that we'll be pulling for you back here at Racing Boys HQ, and we hope that you make that big deposit on Monday next week. All right? Yeah, and like I said, I'm looking forward to it. Just if we can go in there and have 2 top 5 nights, that's a huge success for our team. And obviously, if you can get in that top 5 and be in contention, anything can happen. And like I said, we're looking forward to it. Our confidence is sky high, and hopefully just have 2 solid nights and get back here to Casey's country. All right, buddy. We appreciate you. Thanks so much, Brownie. Thank you, guys. Take care. Bye. All right. There you have it. Blackjack Brian Brown here on Racing Boys. We'll be back with more in a moment. Stay tuned.
This is Chad with 810. Losing weight sucks. At least it did before I got help from Shaman's Leewood Total Wellness. I met with Dr. Kapoor, and he's got me on a program that's finally working. I'm not hungry, I'm not cranky, and I've lost over 20 pounds in just 6 weeks. Their team is easy to work with, and it's not just a pill, it's weight loss coaching, and it works. Check them out at shamantotalwellness.com or call 913-227-9150. Remember, life is better with the feather.
Kansas City scores! I am Sydney Miramontes, and I'm a defender for KC NWSL. I play for the love of the game and the next generation of female soccer players. I play for Kansas City.
KC NWSL takes on the Houston Dash on Saturday, October 2nd at 7 p.m. Get your tickets today at kcwoso.com/tickets. That's kcwoso.com/tickets.
O'Reilly. When you need auto parts, O'ReillyAuto.com is just a few clicks away. We offer convenient options for you to get your parts quickly. Order online and pick up for free at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store. We'll even bring it out curbside. Or you can have your parts delivered right to your door with free shipping on most orders over $35. Visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
It's a new era in Lawrence.
Let me introduce our next leader for Kansas football, Lance Leipold.
New head coach Lance Leipold and the Jayhawks are ready to wave the wheat.
He takes it in from 61 yards out.
Join us this Saturday as the Jayhawks brave the storm in Ames to take on the Iowa State Cyclones. Pre-game begins at 4:30.
Touchdown Jayhawks!
On your home for KU football.
You're listening to the home of the Jayhawks, Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Next to your vehicle's engine, your transmission is the most important component of your car. If it's not properly maintained, your car may not shift properly. By adding Lucas Transmission Fix to your transmission, it cleans and lubricates sticking valves for proper shifting, renews worn bands to stop slipping, stops seal leaks, will not void new car warranties, contains no harmful solvents. Lucas Transmission Fix. It works.
Track Talk.
Welcome back. It's Track Talk here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. It's all brought to you by Lucas Oil Products, made in America, sold to the world. Good news is Mostly Motorsports is going to be sponsored by Lucas Oil Products as well. Look for that show to start sometime after the Chili Bowl. Looking forward to it. It is official. That show will be taking place this next year. So next year, I'm going to be in the studio every day, Monday through Friday. Looks like that show is going to air from about 11 to 12:30. So Monday through Friday, live right here on Racing Boys. How about that, Kirk?
I'll be listening.
I know you'll be listening. You might be back over there helping a little bit, right?
Oh, I'll help you out for a little while.
Yeah.
You're going to have to fill in on.
Cool.
If people don't know, Kirk is going to fully retire next year, and his plans.
I hate that word retire. I'm just, I don't know.
That's what you're doing.
That makes it sound like I'm going to go and go to die or something. You're
going to move back to Iowa.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That means you're not going to be a broadcaster anymore.
I'll still come on your show if you'll have me.
Well, I'll have you on from time to time,
Yeah.
but I mean, you will.
From time to time.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Technology will let us bring him in. He could still join us.
We'll get him to Skype in a time or two.
Now
right?
this show is going to be about you, man. I'm
it's
proud
not.
of you.
No. It's not
Giving your opinions about things.
Oh yeah,
I'll be tuned in to listen. That's for sure.
My opinions tend to piss some people off.
Well, every now and then, that's what happens when you give your opinions.
I know it. I've already done that this morning.
But you've got a lot of experience doing this thing, so you know what the deal is.
You know what? Yeah, I'm not worried about what people think of me. Just so you know, I could really care less what people think of me.
Yeah.
I live in my own little bubble, Kirk.
Especially the older you get.
Right.
The less you care, right?
Yeah. Hey, Kirk, we had some racing going on out at Sweet Springs last night, didn't we?
We did. The Power Eye Midgets out there for the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Brent Cruz, young 14-year-old. How old is he? Is he 14 or 15.
Gosh, I don't know how old he is.
But
He looks awfully young.
He won his 7th Power Eye feature this year. I remember he won his first one at Valley Speedway here earlier this summer, and then he backed that up. I think he won again at Sweet Springs.
Yeah.
So he is on a roll, just another one of these young kids like, Ryan Timms, who won 2 more races this past week. He won a 410 race up at Houston Speedway. And then last night, he went to I-80 Speedway and picked up a victory there. They had 360s up there last night.
Was that I-80's final race of the year?
I think so.
I think it was, too. Yeah.
So congratulations. The young kids are getting it done, man.
Kirk,
They're
you don't
getting it
have some
done.
of the other winners from Sweet Springs up there, do you? That you can roll down real quick and give us a couple winners?
Yeah, I do. Tyler Renison won the 600cc Outlaw. No, I take that back. He won the Outlaw Micros last night. And the 600cc non-wing feature was won by Kenton Brewer last night. And the Lone Star 600 restrictor class, Logan Lunsford was the feature winner. Then they had the 600 junior sprints last night. And Micah Becker picking up the feature win.
Yeah.
They'll do it again tonight. And by the way, next weekend is a huge weekend at Sweet Springs. The Show Me Showdown is going to take place. So we'll get Brett Bybee on to talk about that here a little bit later on.
Kirk, last night, MLRA was running in Illinois, weren't they? And it was a $7,000 payday there, if I remember right.
It was. And Garrett Alberson comes through with the feature victory last night. Looked like Tom Spatola was going to be the guy that everybody had to outrun. Well, Alberson was able to do it about halfway through that 50-lap feature last night. So
and I paid $7,000 to win.
$7,000. $7,000. There are 2 other big late model shows last night. The Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series was at the Raceway 7 near Cincinnati, Ohio last night. Tim McCready wins the feature event. Tonight they're going to be in Pittsburgh for another Lucas Oil round. Gaffney, South Carolina, the home of Cherokee Speedway. The World of Outlaw late models won by Brandon Overton. What a season he has had this year. So congratulations to all of those.
It's hard to beat that Lucas Oil late model series, though, isn't it, Kurt?
Yeah.
In the world of late model racing right now, wouldn't you think the superior product might be the Lucas Oil Late Model Series over the World of Outlaw Late Models?
Yeah, I would say that. Although, the World of Outlaw Late Models do have some crown jewel events, but not as many as the Lucas Oil Late Models. That's for sure. And had a big non-wing sprint car feature last night at the Terre Haute Action Track. It was the Jim Hurtubise Classic, and Chris Wyndham comes up with the top prize. He has that track mastered. Chris Wyndham has got it figured out at Terre Haute Action Track, and he was able to get the job done last night. I thought maybe Robert Ballou would have a pretty good run at it last night. He started on the pole, but he gave up the lead early on in that race, and Chris Wyndham was was Jake Swanson that first got around Robert Ballou, and then Chris Wyndham passed both Ballou and Jake Swanson. Swanson, I thought maybe might have a chance at Chris Wyndham there towards
the end. Was that live last night, that
Wyndham
race?
was able to stretch it away. Yeah, it was on Flow Racing last
night. It was?
Yep.
Oh, I missed that one. Big announcement this week, Kirk. Also, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series is going to return to Knoxville in 2022.
Yeah.
I think there were some people that were questioning if it was going to return.
Yeah, because of the way the race ran, it was, there wasn't a lot of passing going on in that race, but they're going to bring him back next year. And you know what? I think it's going to be a better show the second time around because they'll know more about the racetrack.
Right.
And to be honest, there was a threat of rain and storms coming in ahead of that race that might have killed the walk-up crowd.
Yeah, it killed their crowd.
But I think it'll be a lot better the second time around. I really do.
So that's going to be June 18th next year.
Yeah, a little bit earlier than where it was
What was the date
year.
this year?
It was July 9th, I think it was, something like that this year. So it's going to be a little bit earlier in the calendar. So, I think that's going to be a good show. The other thing about it is that weekend this year was combined with the Corn Belt Nationals, the non-wing sprint car show, and that was relegated to a one-day event, and the rains came in and just completely wiped out the non-wing cars this year. So if they can get that, I think that's a separate weekend than anything else. So if you got the standalone for the trucks the second time around, and track prep, I think is going to be a whole lot better, and everything will be much better the second time around, I believe. Hey, I looked at the forecast last night down in Little Rock, Arkansas. I looked to see what it was doing.
What's it doing?
And it was raining.
It was raining.
So the call that they made to postpone
the
short track nationals earlier this week turned out to be the right call.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
That's
also
going to be that's going to be the weekend of the 22nd and 23rd of October is when they rescheduled the short track nationals.
All right, the 8th annual Summit USRA Nationals is going to be taking place down at Lucas Oil Speedway. I think that's next weekend.
Next weekend.
Yeah.
Big event.
I was told that the crowd down there, they've sold so many tickets for that event that the back straightaway is starting to get full.
Ooh.
Yeah. So if you want tickets to go down to the USRA Nationals down at Lucas Oil Speedway, you probably ought to get your ticket here pretty quick.
That's going to be a big event.
Big event.
Our buddies over at racingdirt.com will be carrying the live video of that. But better yet, just go there.
That's a 3-day show, by the way.
Yeah.
Or is it a 4-day show, Kurt? I think they have 1 day of practice, don't they? So it's the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th down at Lucas Oil Speedway.
3 days of racing.
3 days of racing. Well, that'd be good.
So it's going to be big. So, we're going to be watching the big race at Williams Grove tonight to see how that all turns out. I think just where you start in that race is going to matter. And they will, I think they're going to qualify these cars again tonight. So it's like Kyle Larson last night. He started 6th in the dash and won the dash, which put him on the front, on the pole. I'm not sure if he would have started anywhere else that I'm not saying that Kyle Larson would have won had he not had the starting spot he had last night. I don't know. He might have.
Brownie had a little bit of luck in his win last week.
Yeah.
Just a little.
Because Brett Marks.
He had him covered, I think.
Really had him covered last week. But, hey, you got to put yourself in position to win.
That's what
Brian Brown
that's
put
what
himself
I said to
in
Brian.
position to win.
You got to put yourself in a position to win before you can win. You got to be close to the front to capitalize on somebody's unfortunate problems.
Yeah, because there are times when you have been the dominant car and something happens to you and you don't win.
Right.
So these things even themselves out. So I just reject the notion that, hey, you got lucky last week. Well, no, I think he was in the right position to win. Brett Marks had trouble, and that makes up for the times that maybe Brian Brown had a dominant car and something happened to him, and he didn't win. So these things even out.
Yeah. All right, Kirk. So tomorrow, service celebration of life at Lakeside Speedway starting at 1 o'clock for John O'Neill Sr.
Right. That's John O'Neill Sr. And today we're going to attend the services for Joan Ellis, who was a big force in racing here in Kansas City area. That's coming up at 11:30 today.
All right.
At the
Vineyard Church at 12300 Arrowhead Traffic Way, Kansas City, Missouri.
Right. That's just north of 435 at 169 Highway.
Yeah. All right, folks. Remember, hour number 2 is coming up. Lee Spencer's going to join us. We're also going to get Brett Bybee from Sweet Springs. He's going to join us as well. So we hope you'll tune in. All you got to do is follow us over on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or racingboys.tv. Want to thank Austin for coming in and helping us out, along with Todd and Adam. That's Kirk over there. I'm Scott. We'll see you right around the corner, hour number 2 of Lucas Oil Products Track Talk, right on RBN, the Racing Boys Broadcasting Network.
You know the meaning of dedication.
Good job, fellas. Good show. Thanks, man.
The early mornings and the late nights
you too, fellas.
pursuing your dream. The commitment.
Taking care of your car is a responsibility, It ensures the long life of your car and its expensive components. That's why Lucas Oil takes automotive protection so seriously. Lucas heavy-duty oil stabilizer bonds with motor oil to shield engines from heat and wear. So take pride in caring for your car and pass that pride and knowledge to the next generation for years of smooth, reliable driving on the long road ahead. Trust Lucas Oil. It works.
One of the main reasons for poor vehicle performance is a dirty fuel system. It can cause decreased fuel economy and actually do harm to your engine over time. By adding Lucas Fuel Treatment to your vehicle, it cleans and lubricates the entire fuel system, pump, carburetors, fuel injectors, and valves as you drive. It also improves your vehicle's performance. It's a non-solvent product designed to protect both gasoline and diesel engines. Lucas Fuel Treatment. It works.
Rod End Supply is involved with a variety of motorsports as well as industrial applications with many different types of products. Since 1989, Rod End Supply has provided superior products priced competitively. Whether you're racing at the circle track or drag strip, rock climbing, or going off-road, Rod End Supply has an assortment of rod ends, radius rods, and specialty products to keep your equipment moving. Rod End Supply's experienced staff is ready and willing to help you with your needs. Their promise is to continue to provide a superior product with superior service so you can stay in front of the field no matter what it is. To learn more, go to rodendsupply.com.
Spirit Specialty Sportswear in-house. We do all of the screen printing, all the embroidery. We do some vinyl. The other ad specialty items like your pens, magnets, notepads, calendars. You can actually buy that, build your business to make it larger. We have the largest screen printing process and the largest embroidery anywhere around in the area. We can do stuff all the way from your school clubs to sports teams, a professional look in the office. If you can imagine it, we can do it for you.
There is less than 1/100th of an inch of motor oil protecting your car's engine. Friction and heat causes engine oil to experience thermal breakdown, weakening its ability to protect the engine and its parts. Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer is specially formulated to resist thermal breakdown, protect vital engine parts, and extend the life of your engine. It also stops smoking, knocking, and oil consumption in worn engines. Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer. Keep that engine alive.
Alumatech Products is the premier aluminum cabinet company as well as custom aluminum trailer manufacturer. They specialize in custom cabinetry and production units. All the cabinets are built in-house by exceptional craftsmen. Alumatech Products also offer truck caps that are built from the ground up, starting with a framework all the way to a complete build. The folks at Alumatech are driven to produce quality, long-lasting products through innovative design to best suit you. For more information, go to alumatechproducts.com.
Missouri's must play getaway. Osage National Golf Resort.
3 9-hole courses to choose from at the Lake of the Ozarks in the Osage River Valley. Stay and play packages in our first-class condos. A beautiful clubhouse complete with pro shop and exercise facilities. A large pool for relaxation and families. The Eagle View Sports Bar and Grill. Great wedding facilities. Go online and make your tee time today.
Race fans, the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum is open 7 days a week, year-round, for you to come in and check out all of the wonderful race cars on display in the museum. And our online store at sprintcarstuff.com is open 24 hours a day for you to check out everything that we have in stock for sprint car fans. Whether it's for a birthday, anniversary, or Christmas, sprintcarstuff.com has it all. That's at the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum in Knoxville.
We not only look to the future, we design it. Our excellence and professionalism in craftsmanship, quality, and safety is unmatched in the industry. We are proud suppliers to some of the most elite race teams in the world. We build it, you drive it. We are here to help you win.
Next to your vehicle's engine, your transmission is the most important component of your car. If it's not properly maintained, your car may not shift properly. By adding Lucas Transmission Fix to your transmission, it cleans and lubricates sticking valves for proper shifting, renews worn bands to stop slipping, stops seal leaks, will not void new car warranties, contains no harmful solvents. Lucas Transmission Fix. It works.
Hey, this is Larry the Cable Guy, and you're listening to Racing Boys, and if you ain't listening to them, you get out of the country because you're a communist. I love the Racing Boys. Like Mater says, they make me happier than a tornado in a trailer park. You know, the funny thing about that is the Larry voice and the Mater voice are exactly the same. Get her done!
Welcome to Hour 2 of Track Talk on the Racing Boys Broadcasting Network. Brought to you by Lucas Oil Products. Made in America, sold to the world. Here again are the Racing Boys, Scott Traylor and Kirk Elliott.
Hey, welcome back. Hour number 2 of Track Talk here on RBN, the Racing Boys Broadcasting Network. I'm Scott. He's Kirk. We're all back here at Racing Boys HQ. We've got Adam, Todd, and Austin helping out today, kind of learning the tricks of the trade. Austin's going to be a big part of our new show, Mostly Motorsports. It's going to start in February. And then all of Mostly Motorsports is going to be brought to you by our good friends at Lucas Oil Products. We want to thank them for stepping up on board with the new daily show, Monday through Friday, 11 to 12:30. It's going to be live during the week. And we're going to have all kinds of guests from all genres of motorsports, folks. From everybody all over the country. This is going to be a great show. I'm so looking forward to it. It's something I've been wanting to do for a long time. And I've made the decision that I'm going to get off the road and I'm going to concentrate on this show. And we're looking forward to it, Kirk Elliott. I know that... I've been talking about trying to do the Mostly Motorsports show for a long, long time, and this is something that you know what? I'm to the age. If I'm going to do it, I got to do it now. I'm going to be 62 next year, and I don't want to get too old where I can't do it. Right.
Right, and you know what's going to make this great for you and for all of us?
I don't know about that.
All of us that are interested in all kinds of racing, you're going to talk about all kinds of racing.
Right.
I mean, you'll weigh in on NASCAR, dirt racing.
It's going to have
sprint car racing, everything.
Everything. It's going to be about everything, and it's called Mostly Motorsports because we're going to talk off topic of motorsports sometimes too, as well. We'll talk about music. We'll talk about current events. What's going on in the world.
But you're not going to get political.
I am not going to get political.
Good for you.
And I'm not going to talk about religion.
Yeah, those two subjects are, they can be pretty toxic.
Boy, howdy.
You're already going to be toxic the way it is, even without talking politics.
Well, you know me, Kirk. If I get back in this seat and I sit here every week.
You may talk about the politics of racing.
Every day of every week.
Yeah.
You know that my opinions will finally work their way through the filter.
But you'll probably talk about politics of racing, maybe.
Oh, for sure we'll talk about the politics of racing.
Yeah, there's always there's politics everywhere.
Oh, yeah, for
sure. You're just not going to get into that other stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Kirk, our next race is OCRS race down at Creek County, right?
That's right. Tonight, the Oil Capital Racing Series will be in action. They were in action last weekend. We did not carry the live video for a number of reasons, but they had a big $3,000 to win show at Salina High Banks, and the winner was Blake Hahn.
How about that?
Yeah. So congratulations to him. But tonight, the series is back in action, and we are carrying tonight's race at the Creek County Speedway tonight. Hot laps at 7 o'clock. First race at 7:30. Better yet, if you're in the Tulsa area, head on out. Only $10 for adults to see some great racing last night. They'll have some other classes there as well, including the modifieds, factory stocks that pay $1,000 to win tonight, and $500 to the mini stocks and the junior mini stocks, all in action tonight at Creek County. If you can't be there, we'll have it live right here on Racing Boys.
And we've got all kinds of video up on our racingboys.tv app. If you would like to check it out, you can watch tons of ASCS National Tour action, tons of ASCS regional action, Oil Capital Racing Series, OCRS, now 600, Midwest Wingless Racing Association. There is a ton of stuff on Racing Boys, and you can always find it through your favorite app, iPhone, Apple TV, Android TV, Roku, Fire TV. So one of those apps, you can find it if you want to watch it on your television as well.
Now, next weekend, we got a couple of regional ASCS races, including the season finale for the Racing Boys ASCS Warrior region at Lake Ozark Speedway, where Austin O'Neill is going to be a big player in this. He's 24 points behind Gunnar Ramey.
Put his headphones on so we can talk to Austin.
Leading into the final night at Lake Ozark Speedway. So if you can't be at Lake Ozark Speedway next Saturday night, we'll have it live on Racing Boys and the season finale for the Sooner region.
Austin,
it's not the season finale of the Sooner region.
Why don't you raise that mic up, stand up so we can see you.
I should correct myself. It's not the season finale of the Sooner region, but it is the American Bank of Oklahoma ASCS Sooner region presented by Smiley's Racing Products. They'll be at the Tri-State Speedway in Pecola, Oklahoma next Saturday night as well. So we got those two events a week from tonight.
All right, Austin O'Neill, now part of Racing Boys Broadcasting Network, is in the studio with us here today. Can you flip the camera over there on him? Austin, you're in a tight point battle with our old Impact Signs, Awnings, and Wrap guy. It's coming down to you two, and you're down 24 points. What do you think? You got a chance?
I got a chance.
Bring him up.
I got a chance. I just gotta not make any mistakes.
Yeah.
For once, and just hope Gunnar doesn't.
Boy, you guys are not helping him much over there.
First day on the job.
First day on the job, and they're breaking equipment and everything else. Holy cow.
There's nothing Austin is doing. He's not doing anything wrong.
All right. There we go. All right. Now we got it. So anyway, Austin, so you think that so you just got to get up and just hope that you have a good night, and hopefully he has a bad night, right?
That's pretty much it. I mean, going to Lucas those 3 nights, we didn't really have that good of a car. We lacked a little bit of just raw speed, and throughout the week,
a little more volume there, Anna.
Dad and I worked pretty hard to try to get the car fast, and we were able to lock in the show through the B, and I think we carry that momentum from Lucas into this last race. And
what were you lacking down there, you think?
Well, it was just so back in May I destroyed my primary car and switched to my backup car, and it's the same car and same manufacturer. It just was
some cars are better than others.
Yeah, it was just a little off, and going into Lucas, I maybe had 3 nights on it, so my notebook wasn't very big. We were just in Lucas. It's just it's different. It's not like anything else. Especially the first night where one end of the track was super heavy and the other end was slick. So we just found a baseline that was working, and then with the help of Blake and all our other supporters around us, we were able to fine tune it and just get the car more drivable, where I could really be aggressive with it, but not fight it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Listen, bud. That's not an easy group of guys with the Racing Boys ASCS Warrior region presented by Impact Signs, Awnings, and Wrap. It's kind of funny, isn't it, that the Racing Boys car and the Impact Awning Signs and Wraps car are battling for the championship. That's kind of funny, really.
It is, and I mean, Gunnar and I both have had our good nights and had our bad nights. And
are you and Gunnar friends?
Yes and no. I mean,
has this championship run kind of separated you two maybe a little bit, where you maybe don't talk as much as you used to?
Just a little bit. I mean, we got into an incident at 36 this year.
Yeah.
And I mean, I really don't have to talk about it too much. Everybody
you
kind of
don't have
knows
to.
what happened.
Yeah.
And that really kind of set the
tone.
Yeah, the tone. And after that, I haven't talked to him, and I don't really have intentions to.
I love that. I love that.
I'll just
Hey, listen, I'm not trying to put you on the spot here, bud. I'm just saying, you know what? It's championship time now, right?
It is. It's
Right.
time to not let anything slide, and take it for yourself, and not leave anything out there for anything to happen.
But
to you.
but at the same time, you don't want to destroy your stuff and have to work all winter to build a new car.
Yeah, I mean, last year we went to Devil's Bowl and messed up both nights and lost 2 cars, and started this year kind of low with our inventory. Yeah. And then you crash 4 times, and your inventory is super low. And so yeah, I was really grateful to survive last weekend at Lucas.
Yeah.
And I just got to do it one more time and get done with the year and start fresh next year.
Hey, bud, you've been doing a great job. So just hold your head high. It doesn't matter if you win the championship or not. You were in it to win it. You were leading. You led the points. I mean, how many weeks did you lead the points this year? A lot, right?
I think through the whole summer months.
Yeah. So you've got everything to be proud of, right? It doesn't matter what the results are. Obviously, you want to win the championship, and I think you can pull that off. But at the same time, you have plenty to be proud of, right?
For sure. I mean, coming into this year, our goals were, 1, to win the championship, to make the Hocket down there at Lucas, and we did that. So that was a good goal to check off the list. And we were running top 5 at Tri-City with the national tour, and then had a park break. And I mean, we've had a great year, nothing to hang our head on. Just gives us more motivation and enthusiasm for next year.
Right. And now Lake Ozark Speedway is a track you got a lot of experience at. You got to feel pretty good about your chances to go in there and pick up your first win next Saturday night.
You roll around there pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, starting there 3 years ago to where I am now, it's kind of crazy to think that I've come this far in that short of time. But I got a lot of laps, and I feel like we can be really good there next weekend.
All right, buddy.
What's going to be the key? You obviously got to get a good starting spot next week. So what's your plan?
No, it all starts with the draw, Kirk.
We don't need to talk about the draw. That's not something.
I mean,
good to talk
the
about.
Draw is where it all starts, doesn't it, Austin?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't drawn lower than, I want to say, 40 all year.
Oh,
I drew
wow.
a 90 Thursday night at Lucas and started last in the last heat race. And
so are you going to find somebody else to draw?
Hold on a second.
Find somebody else to make the draw.
But here's the thing, Austin. If the right cars are in your heat race, and you start last, sometimes that's a good thing.
You're right. I've caught that once or twice this year.
Where there's 5 or 6 guys that you're faster than in front of you, and you get a lot of passing points because of it, right?
Right.
That would be a big key.
Just saying. You just got to take a look at the heat race. Now, you get in a heat race and you got a bunch of national guys in it. Not so good.
No.
Right.
So who's doing the draw every week? Are you doing that yourself? Or?
It started out with me, and then I struggled with it, so I made Dad
Have you let your mom do it yet?
We've all done it. I've done it. Dad's done it. Mike's done it. My buddy Ace has done it. I mean, if Miles Paulus did it for me one night, I mean, if you come up and you come to me and you want to draw for me, I'm just going to give you the 20 and tell you good luck.
Maybe I should try to draw for you. You know, I've drawn twice. I pulled a 2 and a 12.
Well, I hope to see you down there Saturday.
I think you are planning on going, right?
Yeah, that's the plans. Yeah, for sure. All right, Austin. Good luck to you, buddy. Appreciate you coming on board and hanging out with us here at the studio. And, man, I kind of looking forward to Mostly Motorsports. How about you?
I'm really excited for it. I think it's going to be a great opportunity for me and for you as well.
Well, you know what? It's going to be good for all of us because I can talk motorsports with you. I can talk music with Todd. So everything will be good. I think that'd be great. All right, Austin. Thanks so much. Kurt?
Yep.
Where do you want to go now?
Well, we're just thinking about the Hahn family right now. As those of you that might have joined us late at the beginning of the show, we talked about the loss of Fuzzy Hahn, who was a rock in so many ways for a lot of people and for yourself and, the Hahn family and everybody associated with the Chili Bowl and Tulsa Shootout, ASCS, and all of that. And they have announced arrangements for Fuzzy. They have been set. Services will be held Tuesday at the Faith Church, 1901 West 17th Street in Glenpool, Oklahoma. Visitation will be on Monday night at the Moores East Lawn at 19th and Memorial in Tulsa.
That's a great picture in it, Fuzzy, right there.
So the visitation, the viewing on Monday night, and the services on Tuesday afternoon at 1 o'clock in Glenpool, Oklahoma. So we've got those arrangements posted on our Facebook page right now if you want to go up and make your plans.
Tough day. Tough day yesterday, for sure. All right, Kirk. Well, where should we go now, bud? Should we get Lee lined up? And then we'll get Brett Bybee here in a little bit. We'll talk about what's going on out at Sweet Springs.
Talladega weekend.
You know, Kirk, Talladega, I've said it more than once on this show. Talladega is maybe my favorite NASCAR track.
You've been there many times. I've only been there once.
I was there when Dale Earnhardt won his last race, when he come from 17th to win, remember, in 5 laps?
In 2000.
2000. I was also at Dale Earnhardt's last race.
That might be the best super speedway race ever in the history of NASCAR, would you say?
It very well could be, because at that particular year, they had the wicker bar across the roof of the car, if you remember right.
Right.
And those cars really sucked up on each other really bad. And remember, during that entire race, 40 cars ran in a giant group, in a giant pack. And I know that you're not a big fan of pack racing. Me personally, it gets me giddy. When I watch 40 cars separated by less than 2 seconds, all going 3 and 4 wide, there's nothing better than that in my eyes. Now, listen, a great Bristol race where they're rooting and gouging, I love that as well. Martinsville, love that as well. Kansas Speedway, I love our home track, right? But there's, to me, nothing really gets me as giddy as watching a pack of cars running on a super speedway over 200 miles per hour. It gets me excited.
It's a thrill show. Do I think that's great racing? I don't know. Not to me, it's not. But
no, hold on.
It's a thrill show.
You can't just make a blanket statement. You have to tell me why that doesn't get you. When you have 40 cars within inches of each other, running 3 and 4 wide in a giant pack, what does not get you excited?
What I don't like about that is you're a victim of people around you, or you're somebody that's going to take advantage of people around you that's not of your doing, and you win those types of races.
That part didn't make any sense.
You have to have help to win those types of races.
Kirk,
you can't do it on your own.
Sense to me. Tell me.
I don't like that.
Tell me what you mean by that.
I think that when you win in racing, you need to do it on your own. You shouldn't have to rely on a teammate or anybody else or the draft to help it make you and help you win a race. I think you ought to be able to do it.
So,
on
do you
your
have
own.
a problem with Chase Elliott holding up Kevin Harvick at Bristol? Wasn't that Bristol?
No, I don't. I mean, that was just racing going on there.
No, he was blocking him, so his teammate could win, right?
Well, I suppose you could say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what everybody was saying.
But Harvick had gone it and
remember
Harvick
against
him
and Elliott had a problem after the race because of it.
But before that, Harvick got up into Chase Elliott and cut his tire down too. So there was a little bit of payback going on there.
Well, there's some of that, right? For sure.
Yeah, but anyway, it's a thrill show. It's exciting to watch. It's just not my. I just don't like super speedway races, or what they used to call plate racing. It's not really plate racing anymore.
It's not plate racing anymore.
It is what it is. It's a wild card race. I don't think you can really predict what's going to happen this weekend, but it could cost championship contenders a ton this weekend if things don't go their way, not of their own doing.
Let me bring in our expert here, Miss Lee Spencer. Let me ask you, Lee. Pack track racing to me on a super speedway gets me about as giddy as anything. When they're running in a pack of 40 cars, like when Earnhardt won his last race, when they had those wicker bills on the car, I was there. That was the most exciting thing. You know, Stewart gets upside down with a few laps to go. Next thing you know, Earnhardt's getting shoved by Wallace to run to the front and win the race. I mean, what does it get any better than that, Lee Spencer? Hold on. Her mic's not on? Okay.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
I think it's a full safe thing. So if things get wild and crazy where I'm at, it doesn't just kind of, blow your mind with the babble between Spencer and I. But, listening to Kirk sounds so much like David Poole. And I remember David Poole's last Talladega race, and it was his last race. He was so over the top. If somebody had taken his blood pressure that morning before the race, I guarantee you it would have looked like one of those cartoons where the thermostat blows up and out of, sends some mercury flying out of the top of it. He was that far gone, and he died days later. I mean, I think it was the Monday, wasn't it?
Yeah. Could you tell he didn't look well the last time you saw him?
Well, no, he wasn't. I mean, you can't carry that kind of weight around and have that kind of stress in your life and not, I mean,
he had a lot of things. I don't have to
tell you the diet of motorsports riders in general. I mean, it's better now than it used to be. I mean, for a long time, we advocated for them to change change what they offered in the, the snack rooms, the lunch rooms. And, God bless Daytona. They actually had a salad bar for all of 6 months. So, I really appreciate the effort. And I have an open invitation at the NASCAR hauler for the salad bar, which is good. But, he was one of those perfect examples of, sports riders on the road that don't take care of himself. But, the bottom line is Talladega spun him out, I mean, greater than anything. And it took its toll. It was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak, and he lost his mind. But I can tell you the most horrific thing, and I was at Daytona when Earnhardt died, but I was at the Infield Care Center, and so it was like, I was getting bits and pieces coming back. It wasn't one of those.
Yeah.
It was after that day that I decided I would always watch these races from the press box, because that's the only place you're really going to see what's happening. The most horrific thing I saw is when Keselowski and Edwards got together, and we were up in the press box. And I mean, when you're sitting in the press box at Talladega, you can feel the cars come down the front stretch.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's how big the vibration is. And so, you talk about the excitement factor for you, and I mean, you understand the excitement factor for the fans, because when they're sitting in those metal grandstands, they feel it. They feel the same thing I feel.
Absolutely.
I feel the whole damn building shake.
Right.
There's not a lot of tracks, I can tell you, that gives me that, visceral feeling when the cars come down the racetrack. I mean, I get a great view at Martinsville. I get the cars coming into the corner at Richmond. I get the cars coming into the turn 3 at Darlington. It's not as exciting as when it was turn 1, right?
Right.
But just the feel and the sensation that the cars give you, you can only imagine what it's got to be behind the wheel. It's got to be absolutely flipping insane. So
you know what, Lee? When I go to Talladega,
I'm getting jacked up.
That's good. That's good. Is that energy drink in that thing you're drinking right there? I don't know.
No, this is my Webster Groves cup.
Oh,
and when I was put on the Webster Groves Wall of Fame for my high school, they gave me this lovely mug.
Nice. At least they could do. Hey,
so it's my travel coffee mug.
Yeah, let me just step back there. I want to bring up this part. When I go to Talladega, it's one of the few racetracks that I go to where the fans stand up almost the entire race.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they rarely sit down at Daytona. People sit down, right?
And God forbid if Chase Elliott's leading, right?
Oh, Oh my gosh! If he was
back in
leading,
the Dale days,
or a Dale Jr. leading, oh my gosh,
yeah, that was
crazy.
When he won, you just knew that the grandstands were coming down, right?
Even a little Harvick when he's leading down there, they get a little jacked up, right?
Well, I got it, and that kind of, here goes my ADD, but the story I'm working on today is I asked Logano about if he thinks that the Chase Elliott, Kevin Harvick deal is over, and he said absolutely not.
No way.
And, he didn't mention Matt Kenseth by name, and that's another funny side story.
Right.
Now my ADD's really going. We were taking our pre-race walk last Sunday around the neighborhood, and all of a sudden I hear "Hi Lee," and the fit and fabulous Matt Kenseth went jogging by me on on my path, and so that was interesting. But Logano didn't even mention Kenseth by name, but he didn't have to. He knows.
Right.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda. He lost a championship because
of his actions from Kansas.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I was getting back to David Poole, who was a great writer for
and a regular on our show, by the way.
He was, and I was looking back. He was only 50 years old when he passed away in 2009. It's been that long ago.
But you know what?
I'm not. I was going to say about David Poole. I'm not as worked up as he was about it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but you're starting to sound like him, Kirk.
A little bit.
It just not.
Thank you,
It's
Lee.
not my favorite type of racing. I'll just put it that way.
Well,
if
but
you're
I'll be watching though.
journalist-
I'll be watching.
I bet you were watching Williams Grove last night too. That wasn't
absolutely.
Hey, it's a little unfair to put Kyle Larson on the front row, isn't it?
Oh my God, are you kidding me? Could they have put something, a bunch of different numbers in there and just, seriously, you might as well just abandoned him the check when he grabbed the pill, right?
Were you shocked when he blew through the cushion that one time down in 3 and 4?
It had been a while since he ran there, but do you really think anybody had anything for him? What really got me, really surprised me, was Paul Silva's comments on Twitter earlier in the week, and I thought that spoke volumes.
What did he say? I missed it.
Well, he was just talking about Larson not getting tow money and the team not getting tow money for coming to that race
and using his name to promote the race and him being there.
Exactly.
Yeah, I did see that.
These guys, I heard the kind of numbers that Kyle made in souvenirs last year, and it was more than he made on the racetrack. But he didn't race the full race, right? But as far as NASCAR goes, but for him not to be able to have the souvenir trailer in prime, if you're going to use a driver, a single driver, to promote a racetrack, then shouldn't. They used to. Kenny Wallace. I can tell you, Kenny Wallace. When he goes someplace, his name is a draw, and
he gets compensated.
So appears money, a little some from the promoter. It goes a long way, and I don't think it's. You're not going to pay the same to go see the Rolling Stones. You're going to pay a different price to see the Rolling Stones than you are your local house band, right?
I don't know. So, you might pay a little less that Charlie Watts is not with him now.
Well, that too.
Yeah. Is what really got Paul what got Paul Silva worked up is the World of Outlaws put out a press release this week about Kyle Larson. If he were to win this event, he would become only the third driver in the history of sprint car racing to win the Triple Crown. We're talking about the Knoxville Nationals, the Kings Royal, and the National Open. And normally the World of Outlaws doesn't put out pieces on Kyle Larson, but they did this time. And that's what really drew the ire of
let me jump in on this conversation right here, all right? Listen, we're in a strange period in motorsports right now, right? And listen, Lee, am I mistaken or am I seeing bigger crowds back at the Cup track right now?
Oh, bigger crowds and no mask. But
bigger crowds. Well, that's a whole nother subject. All right,
that's a whole nother subject.
I've already got my ass chewed out this morning for talking about vaccines. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
That's talking politics. You don't want. You're not supposed to get into politics.
See, that's where you're wrong, and that's where we're going to be divided.
Right. Well, so my point is that do you think drivers? I think drivers ought to try to get this sport built back up and maybe not take as much from the working fans, the people that are blue-collar workers that save up their dollars just so they can go buy some of their merchandise, go to a race and watch them race. Listen, I don't care who you are. If you take a family of four to a NASCAR race, it's going to cost you $400. At least. At the very minimum, $400, right? You're asking blue-collar workers to go there, spend that kind of money, and show up and buy your merch, spend that kind of money, but then you want to charge the racetrack more money so you can even make more money. I think they ought to start giving up their services. If they're going to go there race, let the track promoters promote that they're going to be there. Let's let some of these.
You try getting the drivers to come and promote. I mean, you heard Eddie Gossage bitching about the fact that he can't get a driver to come and promote his race anymore. And it used to be that you would get a driver. Part of the fund that they get, part of the payments that they get is supposed to kind of cover when they're like the driver of the week to go ahead and do the pre-promotion of the races. And you're lucky if you get that driver to do a Zoom with the local media at this point. And so if the drivers are really concerned about building back the sport, then they need to make their butts available to the promoters and to the local media and, really do what's necessary to get NASCAR back at the forefront. I think NASCAR, one of the biggest things that we've seen in NASCAR in the last 2 years is going to different markets. Right now we're adding Gateway, we're adding Portland, we're going to 2 underserved markets where there's a huge number of race fans. So NASCAR's kind of, they're doing their part to take the product to the fans, and the talent, the stars behind the sport, they need to be the ones that sing the gospel and get it out there. I mean, you hear them all the time on Sirius, and that's great, but Sirius is such a small percentage of the fan base. How many people you talk about affording, people being able to afford tickets? Well, Sirius is a nut too. I mean, that's something else that you're adding to. If you watch Dirt Vision, if you watch Flow, Racing Boys, and you pay incrementally for all these, it's the same thing with that. So I think that everybody needs to work together and try to make it financially feasible. This is one of the reasons I think Martinsville, knowing that they're a dying mill town and that people in that region are, strapped for cash, they have affordable seating. You can probably, if you take a family of 4 and it's $25 a seat as opposed to $100, right? I mean, there's optional seating, so you can go and enjoy the race and not really feel like you've been clipped or spent your Christmas budget in October.
Or the $200 a night motel room that they have to stay in.
Well, and I don't have to tell you that because you travel all the time. You travel more than I do at this point, which is, probably, I'd say apples and oranges, but you were noticing that at the tracks that you had gone to in the past, that average number of hotel room you were used to paying for has gone up incrementally because they didn't make money last year. And I'll call, BS on that. But that's just the way it is. I mean, I think our Darlington hotel was probably up 30%.
Well, let me tell you, Motel 6s, Motel Super 8s, those type of low-end motels used to be $50. Now they're $100. Now they're $80 or $100.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to pay.
I can't find a Hampton Inn for under $100, and I think that's just ridiculous.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you're going to pay over $100 for a hotel room wherever you go.
Yeah.
Now.
We were spoiled for
into the business, right?
We were spoiled for a long time because we had the discount over there because of my.
Did you lose your discount?
I did. My who I call my sister lost her job with Marriott after I think 23 years. Yeah.
I hate to hear that. Well, I've got a code for you, so we'll be in touch.
Oh, good. All right, that's good. All right, Lee. tell me what you got coming up on Racing Boys. We got a visit with Brett Bybee here in a few minutes to talk about what's going on at Sweet Springs. You got anything else that you really want to talk about?
Well, I posted a Martin Truex Jr. piece this morning. Martin Truex Jr. is 0 for 33 entering Talladega, and for somebody who's as cool, calm, and collected as Truex, you would think that would serve him well behind the wheel. But my gosh, Talladega, it's not always your fault, right? So, but I think he put a little bit of his laid back wisdom into the piece. So, and I'll be working on the Logano deal today. We've got a double header with trucks and Xfinity, so we'll see how that goes.
You also have a article up that says Kyle Larson can't afford another strategic lapse.
Boy,
in
was
the
that
playoffs.
a cluster!
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
Get into that discussion.
Glad you brought that up, Cliff Daniels. I mean, I couldn't figure out what the heck was going on there. You said there was they were short on tires. Just kind of lay out, because Larson dominated the first half of that race. Just tell us what happened there.
Well, I don't think they were short on tires. I think he was just waiting for a caution, because then he could keep his track position, but it never came. And where Chris Gabehart, who is Denny Hamlin's crew chief, elected during that Joey Gase caution to come in and pit. Everybody came in except for the 400 cars and Ryan Blaney. And Blaney was on Larson's strategy. They were kind of following what the 5 car was doing, so they could at least be in contention and finish the day with a good finish. But, Cliff just basically leaving him hanging on the vine there was just absolutely ridiculous. And even somebody as talented as Larson in bad traffic and old tires, he couldn't swing it. And then, to take the wave around, but then still having to come back from the rear of the field at night, his car wasn't anywhere close to being as solid as it was at the start of that race.
I mean, that just goes to show you, just one big mistake like that can cost you the championship. And I'm not saying Kyle Larson's lost the championship yet, but that certainly didn't help.
Hold on. You talked over, Kirk. What'd you say, Lee?
No, it's all right. I'm just saying 14 points over Hamlin. That's what his lead's down to. And, I mean, he gave up major points. He got no stage points in that second stage. He won the first one.
Right.
But, and that's another thing. When you know that your competition's Denny Hamlin, and Hamlin and Larson have won all the stages so far in the playoffs, I think that you have to zero in. I mean, they say, yeah, we're just going to, the line from these guys, we're just worried about our own program. We don't look at other people. You need to be looking at other people, because if Denny Hamlin is catching you this quickly, you're screwing up. And I don't think Kyle was the class of the field. I think William Byron was. He came back 3 times from the rear. When he got that punctured tire there at the end, he was dead in the water. But Cliff Daniels, with that brain trust they have back in Hendrick in their war room, they really need to go about the next bunch of races with a lot more precision than they did at Las Vegas.
So how's Larson going to approach this race at Talladega this weekend? Because he's not had a lot of success. He doesn't even have a top 5, Kirk.
Huh? I mean, that's, his record is very similar to Truex's. I mean, yeah, he could come out of nowhere and be that guy who, because Hendrick is a really good super speedway program, but I look, Team Penske, to me, they're the ones you have to beat, and Denny Hamlin's the defending winner. So if you're Cliff Daniels and you don't have one hell of a game plan going into Talladega, and I know that they all discussed that on Thursday. I mean, it's time to get with the program.
And here's what's crazy: you got the Roval at Charlotte coming up the next weekend, another wild card crapshoot.
Yeah.
And that's why Denny Hamlin's got so much confidence right now, is because the Roval was the one that really scared him. Talladega's the unknown, but Roval, he knows he's not good there. And so he's got all this confidence over the next 2 races, and they're already preparing for the round of 8. I mean, come on, people. It's right. Like it's not brain surgery.
Yeah. Good stuff, Lee. All right. Well, we'll be looking for your new stuff coming up on RacingBoys.com. Thanks so much for taking the time. You look lovely today, by the way.
You guys have a great weekend, okay? Talk soon.
Hey, and tell your husband that he's the man.
He's a lucky man. That's what he is.
I don't know about all that. You're
I'm just saying in general, when you cook like I do, it leads to a happy life.
Hey,
does he do yoga with you?
No.
I've got him to do downward dog once.
Huh.
Hey, I was going to say.
Hey, now hold on. Whenever you're doing your yoga, does he ever break out the guitar and try to serenade you while you're doing yoga?
No, he just serenades me. He puts me to sleep at night with the guitar. So I've got my own musician. I've got my in-house talent.
Man, that is something else.
Hey,
you're a lucky person. You don't know how lucky. You do know how lucky you are to have him.
Oh, I'm just lucky to have all of you, quite frankly. I consider myself very fortunate.
Oh, well, I'm glad you lumped us in there.
That was
nice.
I just want to say the show last week I listened to you on the way home from after Racing
Press
Boys.
Pass is awesome.
It was a great show, and we loved the shout out you did a couple times there. Gave the Racing Boys a good shout out, so we appreciate that.
Well, and on the news front, as we said last week, we expect Ty Dillon to be driving for GMS in the Cup Series come 2022. So.
Oh wow! How much RCR affiliation will be involved there?
See, there's got to be something behind the scenes, because that's what they had going. When he was in the Geico car with Jermaine, and so I think you'll get a little of that back and forth, technological support from RCR.
Okay, all right, Lee. We'll let you go. We'll see you later.
Take care, gentlemen.
All
Thanks,
right.
Lee.
See you, Lee. All right, let's bring up Brett Bybee now. He's going to join us from Sweet Springs. Brett, how you doing, my friend?
I'm good. How are you this morning, Scott?
It's going good. How'd last night go? Pretty good?
We had an excellent show last night. We had 94 cars that
awesome.
decided to take a chance at coming out and running, even though that everything looked horrible around us weather-wise. And it's a little overcast this morning, but, looking at the weather forecast, it looks like we might get tonight in, too, so fingers crossed.
Yeah, really, Saturday was the day that everybody was pointing their finger at, saying, "Oh, it's going to rain all day, 70% chance." But now it looks like it might work in your direction a little bit.
Yeah, I heard Gary Lezak say yesterday that the rain may not be that big of a factor at all this weekend.
No, I mean, they're talking like if we do get something, it's going to be like maybe less than a quarter of an inch. So, we all know that a quarter of an inch of rain on a racetrack doesn't do anything but make it better. So, so things are looking good right now, and track prep's going on, maintenance is going on race cars, and we're looking to get tonight in as well.
What was the track like last night? Did you have a little lip up there? Was it a little heavy? Or did you get any rain this week? Just tell us what track conditions were like last night.
So we got about a quarter of an inch of rain overnight Thursday night, and but when I got to the racetrack a little bit after about 1 o'clock yesterday, it was pretty heavy, and we were scared it wasn't going to get dried out. But we had one amazing racetrack last night, had a nice cushion for the cars to run on, super smooth, 2 lanes of racing. Cars were on the top, they were on the bottom, it was just an amazing race for the midgets. The Winged Outlaws went out right after the midgets and put on a heck of a show, and all the way through, even the stock non-wing, which was the last class that ran last night. Still super racetrack, very smooth. So all in all, I think we had one car upside down all night long.
Oh
so,
man, that's a great night.
Yeah, you can't complain about that one, and honestly, that deal was just a bad situation and kind of a Tommy tip over. So,
I got you. Well, let's talk about some of the races that took place last night. I know Cruz was the overall winner last night. Talk about his race. Did you get a chance to watch any of the racing while you were working last night?
I did watch. I did get to watch most of the midget feature. I was helping Willie Urish out on his outlaw car, so we were the next class out, so there was a little bit of running around there. But those guys, the Coons cars and the Chad Boat cars were all on the top, and I think it was a Chance Crum in the Rudine car last night, or was that the 26 car? He ran third, I believe.
Yeah, Chance Crum, yeah.
Yeah, Chance Chance ran on the bottom all night. He did not get off the bottom and just picked his way forward all night long. And, it just showed, it was a testament of how good the racetrack was.
He started 15th. 15th
yeah,
he started.
Yeah.
And worked his way forward and it was all on the bottom while everybody else was throwing slide jobs on the top and running the cushion. But 2 lanes of racing, slide jobs, you just couldn't ask for anything better when it comes to a midget race. I love watching midget racing at Sweet Springs Motorsports Complex.
When POWRi comes into your racetrack, do they ever try to influence you what they want to see with the racetrack, or trying to give you some idea? Maybe, I know that you guys don't have a real reputation of having a big curb up there, but do you leave a little bit more curb up there for the POWRi guys?
Tim tends to till the track a little bit more for the midgets when they come in, and so it can build a bit more of a curb. Kenny Brown was out last night, throughout the night, and he POWRi actually has leased the racetrack this weekend.
I got
so
you.
We're kind of under Kenny's guidance this
I see.
weekend, but. For the most part, the initial track prep is left up to our track guy, and then Kenny just kind of gives his guidance of what he wants to do, and we tilled the top a couple different times and then rolled it in, and man, it rolled over really nice and made a nice curve for those guys to run on, and wow, it just put on an amazing show last night.
Let's talk about Brent Cruz, the winner last night. I mean, he's a young kid. What is he, 13, 14 years old? I mean, what a season he's had this year.
Oh, he has. He is. I first noticed Brent. I think he was running a micro out at Millbridge last year, and wow, he you could tell he was going to be something special at that point. And now that Chad Boat has put him into one of his potent machines, he has really come to life. Obviously there's no shortage of talent when it comes to Chad Boat's team, from Chad being the car owner to Wyndham running the USAC deal and Avedisian and Timms and Cruz and those guys that are running various other shows with them. So I think Chad's building him something that's going to be around for a long time there.
Yeah. In the outlaw class, you mentioned Willie Urish. He started on the pole last night, and as a front row starters that got it done last night. Tyler Renison from that outside front row holding off Willie Urish for the outlaw win last night.
Yeah, on the initial start, there was still some grease. It was real slimy down in the bottom of turn 1, and on that initial start, Willie got the front end down into that grease, and it pushed up and allowed Tyler and Frank DeLucia to both get by and dropped Willie back to third on that first lap. But then those three kind of set sail, and they got to racing pretty good, and Willie wound up getting back around Frank DeLucia there towards the end of the race, and I think if it had been a 30-lap race, Tyler had started to get into traffic, and I think those top three may have put on one heck of a show if that had to come down to racing in lap traffic. But congrats goes out to Tyler Renison on that win. He just became a new dad about a week ago, and Maddie and Miles were at the races for the first time last night, so it was pretty cool for him to be able to have the new little one there at the track for a win, and his first POWRi win, as a matter of fact, and so that was pretty cool all the way around.
Yeah. And the other winners last night, Kenton Brewer in the non-wing 600 class. You had Logan Lumsford winning in the restrictor class, and junior sprint winner was Micah Becker. So congratulations to all of those winners.
Hey, Brett.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Scott.
No. Finish up there.
Oh, okay. Well, Micah Becker's had one outstanding year, so congrats goes out to all three of those. Kenton Brewer spent a lot of time. He's local, but he spent a lot of time on the road, and you can definitely see him progressing as a driver with him spending all the time on the road. I want to throw a special shout-out to Logan Lunsford on his win last night. His dad, Brian, was not able to be there because he was at work. So I believe it's Josh was there to help wrench on the car and stuff. So for Logan to get that win and not have his primary crew chief on the ground for the night, it says something about that team and Chris and Josh, and I believe Aaron Smith was helping on that car last night. So great job to Logan for being able to pull that win off without Dad around.
Brett, before we let you go, let everybody know what time things get underway tonight, when they should get out there. They probably should get out there a little bit early so they can get a good seat, right?
Yeah, hot laps will be at 6:30 again tonight. 5 classes. We've got the Power Eye Midgets, the Power Eye Outlaw Micros, Junior Sprints, Restrictors, and non-wing stock Micros again tonight. So, try to be out there by 6 o'clock and to get you a good seat. Lot of dirt being thrown around, so those prime seats kind of get taken up pretty quick. So come on out early and enjoy a great night of racing.
All right, let's talk about next weekend. Big weekend. Next weekend, the Show Me Showdown comes back.
Yes, big our season finale right there. We're doing the same things that we've done in past years. Thursday night we will all classes will do time trials, and then so Thursday night we'll have A class, stock A class, wings, non-wing outlaw, and sportsman. And then on Friday night, we will run the junior sprints, the restrictors, stock non-wing, and winged outlaw. And then Saturday night, all classes will run their features. This year, we will have the winged outlaw and the stock non-wing doing the 3-wide shootout, which will be the top 3-point accumulators from their qualifying night between time trials and heats, qualifiers, and feature. We'll go into a 3-wide shootout. First car to win 2 races gets $1,000. So it's kind of a unique piece of this event, and hopefully we can get a bunch of cars in for this deal and put on a great show. And it looks like the weather is going to be fantastic next weekend, mid-70s to lower 80s.
Perfect.
So it'll be a great weekend for racing. So if you're not doing anything next weekend, come on out and enjoy a great weekend.
All right, Brett. Man, thanks so much. Hey, give your lawn business a little plug here.
Well, Scott, I don't know if you're aware, but I went to work for a great company out of Columbia, working for Tom Boland and Columbia Land Care now.
No way.
So yeah, he came up with a big job for me to do out of the Warrensburg area, and the deal was too good to pass up. So
wow, how about that? Newsflash.
And I went to work for him. So it's a great deal there.
That's awesome.
So. Hey, before I get off here, I'm sure you've already mentioned it earlier in the show, but the entire racetrack at Sweet Springs wants to send our thoughts and prayers out to Emmett Hahn and family on the passing of Fuzzy. I know she was a great influencer in our sport, and she will be greatly missed. So
no doubt.
Just wanted to pass that along to all of the Hahn family. Sorry for your loss, and we're definitely thinking of you.
All right. Good way to wrap it up there, Brett. Thank you so much for taking the time. We appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me on, Scott. I appreciate it.
All right, bud.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Brett.
All right.
There's Brett Bybee from Sweet Springs Motorsports Park. A great
Two
venue.
big weekends.
Yeah,
Two big weekends this weekend, next weekend at Sweet Springs.
Yeah, it's going to be good stuff there.
If you've never been to this racetrack, folks,
it's a pretty nice place.
Yeah, not only that, it's handy to get to, too. It's just about an hour east of Kansas City, right off
Exit
I-70.
66, I believe.
And just go a little bit north, and you're right there.
So if you go out I-70, first racetrack you come to, exit 24, Valley Speedway.
Yep.
The next track is exit 41. That's
I-70
Motorsports Park. Then you take exit, I think it's...
I don't know what number. I don't know the number.
Highway 13 is exit 49. And then if you go down a little bit farther, you get off at exit 66, and that's Sweet Springs.
All kinds of racetracks along I-70.
There is. There's a lot of
close.
Hey, Jerry, he chimed in and said, just paid $105 for a room in Batesville for the IMCA Nationals. Used corporate discount, or it would have been $145 a night.
Yeah.
And then I had somebody else say that just paid $105 for a room at Batesville for IMCA show down there. And Jerry also says that it's the $50,000 to win stock car race, of $1,500 to start, 30 cars. Have you heard of that race, Kurt?
Say that again.
Well, I guess this is at the this IMCA this $50,000 to win stock car race, $1,500 to start.
Adams County Speedway's got the tradition going on this weekend.
How much did it pay?
Yeah, I think that's maybe what we're talking about here.
Isn't Adams County a NASCAR Weekly Racing Series track?
That's a NASCAR Weekly Racing Series track. You're talking about something different.
Yeah. Are they paying $50,000 to win up there in a stock car race in Adams County?
I'm not exactly sure what the money is to win that race, but it started last night, and they had the final round tonight.
It's Batesville. That's where he's talking down in Batesville.
Oh, he's talking about Batesville, Arkansas.
Yep. Thank you, Jerry. Appreciate that.
But this race, the Napa Auto Parts Tradition at the Adams County Speedway, again, they had the first part of it last night, and I was looking to see what they pay to win, $1,500 to win tonight. In the matter of fact, they've got two classes that pay $1,500 to win tonight. And then they have $1,000 to win another class up there. So big night of racing at the Adams County Speedway. Modified, stock cars, B-mods, hobby stock, and compact at the Napa Auto Parts Tradition at the Adams County Speedway.
The World
tonight.
IMCA Stock Car Championship is at Batesville, Kurt.
There you go.
There you go.
I was not aware of that event.
That race. Let me look here. Let me read into this. The purse of $125,000 with a $15,000 paid to the runner-up, $10,000 for third, $5,000 for fourth, $3,000 for fifth, and $1,500 to start. Pays $50,000 to win down at Batesville.
Boy,
that'd be a hell of a race.
Mooney Star putting up the big money again.
You're going to see some really nice stock cars show up for that one there. I promise you. That'll be a good one.
That'll draw a lot of interest there for sure.
Mm-hmm. All right, Kirk. So we've got what's coming up on broadcast wise.
Well, we got one broadcast tonight. Creek County Speedway, OCRS in action down there tonight. A week from tonight, two big events: the ASCS Sooner Region and ASCS Warrior Region in action next Saturday night. In a couple of weeks, you're going to be down at Devil's Bowl Speedway for the Lucas Oil ASCS Sprint Car Series.
Yep.
That'll be Friday and Saturday night, the 15th and 16th of October. And we got some more events also that weekend. We're covering OCRS at Red Dirt Raceway, and I don't have the other racetrack there. But
and the Short Track Nationals have been scheduled for the week after Devil's Bowl.
Right. Now, we're not carrying that on Raceboy. Flow Racing has that live.
What's that?
On the
Short Track Nationals.
Yeah. That's coming up the weekend of the 22nd and 23rd of October.
Right.
That's the same weekend that NASCAR comes to Kansas Speedway, and we'll be all over that weekend.
Mm-hmm. Looking forward to that as well. All right. So we want to thank all of our guests that were on the show today. Want to thank Austin for stepping in here with us. Austin is going for that championship. Good luck to you, my friend. Hopefully you win that deal. Also, we want to thank Lee Spencer.
Brian
Brown. Who else did we have on? Brett Bybee from Sweet Springs Motorsports Park. So that's our show today, folks. We hope that you enjoyed it.
Who wins Williams Grove tonight?
How do you bet against Kyle Larson? I mean, how do you bet against him? You don't. You don't, do you?
You don't. If you don't have money, if you got money to burn, then you can throw money around. But
right, if you
people like me, if you're gonna be careful,
the real money's on Larson.
I'm putting it on Larson.
But I'll say this: I think somebody could jump up and win this race tonight. Listen, Larson has to get through the lap traffic, right? And the only time Schuchart had a chance last night is when they got on that lap traffic. He started to close the gap up a little bit in the 1S car. And I think that if they can get up to Kyle when he gets in traffic, that's the only opportunity somebody has a chance to win. But it's going to take long green flag runs in order for that to happen. And I'm not sure we're going to see that tonight. So we'll just have to see how it all shakes out. It's all on dirt. It's all on Dirt Vision tonight, folks. And if you want to watch what's going on out at Sweet Springs, I believe that's on Power ITV, isn't it? I believe it is.
It's on MAV.
Oh, MAV Plus.
MAV TV Plus.
Oh, the guys from Power ITV are doing it for MAV Plus. That's what they're doing. Yeah.
MAV TV Plus has all the action from Sweet Springs.
All right. All right, folks, thanks for tuning in on the show. Again, our thoughts are with the Hahn family, great friends of mine, and that's a tough one to swallow. So, again, services on Monday, right?
Well, the visitation on Monday night at the East Lawn Funeral Home. That's at 19th and Memorial in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
19th
and then the
Memorial.
Services for Fuzzy will be at 1 o'clock on Tuesday. Faith Church, 1901 West 171st Street South in Glenpool, Oklahoma. That's a little bit south of Tulsa. So that'll be Tuesday at 1 o'clock. And we've got all that information up on our Facebook page there if you
Okay.
take note.
All right. So if you need to find that information, it's up on our Facebook page. You can find it on the website. Just go and find it. It's everywhere, folks. All right. Thanks for tuning in. For Adam, for Austin, for Todd, for Blake back at Sports Radio 810 WHB in hour number 1. For Kirk Elliott, I'm Scott Traylor saying thanks for joining us on the show. We'll see you next week right here on Lucas Oil Products Track Talk.